it's Ariana. Welcome back to my channel. So for tonight's video, we are going to be reading another spooky story. Well, multiple spooky stories. I'm really excited to read this one. I found this one today on Reddit in the True Scary Stories section. So this one is a true story and it is terrifying and it's pretty long. So if you're into the longer stories, then be prepared for this one because this one is fairly long and the ending is crazy. I do have my wicked candle in here with me. It's not lit as per usual because it's too warm in here. I am going to be wearing a wig in this video and bearing through the heat wave. It is so fucking hot in my studio right now. It is absolutely crazy. And if you see bugs flying around, it's because I had my window open today and my screen wasn't on it because my screen fell out, and I asked my boyfriend to put my screen back in and then he just procrastinated and did not. And now there's a bunch of flies in here. So that's been fun. But without further ado, let's just jump on into the scary story. So this one is called, If You See Someone Waving You Down on a Desolate Highway, Don't Stop. I was on assignment for the Army, making my way up from San Antonio, Texas to Tacoma, Washington. It was a long drive, and they gave me 6 days to report to my new unit, but I didn't mind. I love road trips. There's nothing like freedom of exploring the world by yourself. The first day of my journey, I planned to get as much driving in as possible so I could spend a few days in Utah. A sort of mini vacation, you could say. This was January, and the days were short, so maximizing the amount of daylight I had was crucial. I got up extra early that morning, carried the last of my bags out to my Corolla, signed out of my old unit, and hit the road at roughly 5 a.m. It was an amazing day. I saw the landscape transform around me as I headed farther west than I had ever been in my life. From the San Antonio metropolitan area to the savannas of the Edwards Plateau to the pancake flat farmland of the Great Plains region, America's breadbasket. Finally, the farms opened up into prairie, and I saw the "Welcome to New Mexico, the Land of Enchantment" sign. Now I was really in the middle of nowhere. Continuing on US Route 380, I eventually found myself in Roswell. I could have gotten a few more hours of driving in and made it to Albuquerque, but I figured since I was in no rush, I might as well see what Roswell had to offer. Who knows if I would get a chance to visit again. As a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious, as Mr. Ballin would say, I took a self-guided tour of the shops and attractions. The next day, I continued to Albuquerque, then westward on Interstate 40. By the time I reached Gallup and started northbound on US Route 491, I still had 2 hours of driving left before crossing the border into Colorado, and another 45 minutes before I could get to Cortez. My plan stopped for the night. However, my daylight was already running out, as sunset was at 6 p.m. I got Starbucks and refreshed myself for the final stretch. It was supposed to be easy, just a straight shot. But looking back on it now, I figured that had I decided to stop in Albuquerque instead of Roswell the night previous, I would have already been in Colorado by now, and possibly be making my way into Utah. I would have saved myself from what was waiting for me on that desolate highway. Route 491 stretched into the Navajo Nation. On either side of me were endless expanses of prairie, brook-ended by dark indigo mountains on the horizon. To my left, the sky glowed a faint orange purple, the light slowly dying down like smoldering embers in a fire, until finally plunging the land into darkness. Every now and then, I would see the forlorn headlights of another car passing by, which gave me a bit of relief that I wasn't alone. I also had my road trip playlist on to keep me company, and call me ironic, but Hotel California was playing. After passing the small, lonely town of Newcomb, the next piece of civilization would be Shiprock. However, between the two was a 36-mile stretch of absolute nothingness, an abyss I had to cross. I was not ready for what I was about to witness. After several miles, not having seen another car on the road, I saw something strange emerge from the horizon, barely lit by the moonlight. I thought it was a road sign at first. Then as I came closer, I realized it was a person, walking on the shoulder of the road, headed in my direction. I squinted, trying my hardest to focus on the figure. In the darkness, I could tell they were wearing a poncho of some sort, with long black hair flowing down past their chest. Who could be walking out here, all alone, at night? I thought. Whoever it was, they had no lights, no reflectors, no strobes of any kind to signal to passing cars that they were there. And they walked on the pavement dangerously close to oncoming traffic. I pulled to the left a bit, giving them a wide berth. Suddenly, my stereo cut out, as if I had turned it off. The screen went completely dark, and my phone disconnected from Bluetooth. While this was unusual, it certainly did happen from time to time, so I thought nothing of it. As I approached, I saw the person raise their right arm as if to flag me down and hitch a ride. Oh no, 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 I thought. There's no way that's happening, buddy. As my headlight swept by, I realized it was a man dressed in a button-up shirt, a wool poncho, jeans, and cowboy boots. His large belt buckle glistened at the lights passing by. But in the split second, I realized the abject shock that not only were his eyes painfully wide open, but they seemed to be tracking me. Somehow, He was able to see me through the glare of my headlights and look me dead in the eyes, not breaking eye contact until I passed. I was shaken for a bit, but my nerves gradually subsided. My stereo abruptly turned back on and my music continued playing. I brushed everything off as simply my imagination, the darkness and the shadows playing tricks in my mind. Besides, the man was behind me. I looked into my rearview mirror. He was gone. I couldn't see him. Maybe he's too far behind me. No, that couldn't be. It must be too dark. Maybe? I drove on, trying to figure out what had just happened, but at the same time, forcing myself not to think about it. Just when I thought I had moved on, I saw another shape in the distance. Getting closer, I realized it was another figure. Another person walking alone at night. There's no way. They walked along the shoulder of the road, swaying back and forth a bit. Slowly, I could make out that this person was also wearing a poncho. Then, I saw what looked like long black hair reaching down past the chest. No, there's no way. It was the man. The same man? But how? The man raised his arm again, trying to flag me down. What did this guy want? I kept at my pace with no intention of stopping for any reason. Just like the last time, my stereo turned off again. Suddenly, the man leapt out onto the road, arms waving frantically. I swerved into the left lane, narrowly avoiding him. In my headlights, I noticed he had the same wide eye look. His gaze locked onto mine. I also saw that his clothes did not look as they did the first encounter. Once they were clean, if not well worn, but now they were soiled and tattered, rags barely hanging onto his withered frame. His hair was wild and unkempt, with clouds of dried dirt stuck in the locks, but his eyes remained the same. My heart nearly burst through my chest at the sudden shock. Hyperventilating, I slowed down and glanced into the rearview mirror to make sure he was all right. Nothing could have prepared me for what I was about to see. The man was running. He was sprinting towards me. I centered the wheel and accelerated, hoping to get as much distance from him as possible. But as I continued to speed up, so did he. Faster and faster I drove, but every time I looked in the mirror, right behind me, perfectly keeping pace. His body tinted red by my taillights. I could feel my temples throbbing and my hands getting slick with sweat on the steering wheel. I was sick to my stomach. There's no way. I looked forward, hoping to see the faint glimmer of light from the town ahead, but it was still too far away. Oh my God, I'm covered in sweat. This is so scary. I looked back at the rearview mirror. The man was gone. I should have been relieved, but I knew better. Where did he go? I looked around, hoping to regain a visual on him. I couldn't see anything. Taking a deep breath, I refocused on the road, but kept my guard up. Just keep driving, I told myself. Only a few more miles to go. Out of the corner of my right eye, I saw something. Another shape. It wasn't the man. At least I didn't think so. I glanced over, bracing myself for whatever was going to meet my sight. It looked like an animal. Some kind of animal. Though I couldn't make out exactly what it was. Under the moonlight, I could see it running alongside my car, its forelimbs reaching out in long strides, its back undulating like a dog. Closer and closer it came. The closer it was, the more of it I could see, little by little. Then I noticed. Its limbs were far too long for its body. Its body was too short. It had no tail. The head was oddly round, and from it came a trail of long, black hair. I slammed my foot on the gas, pushing my car's engine harder than it had ever been pushed before. By now, I was clocking well over 110 miles per hour. But this creature, it kept up. It wasn't phased. It simply ran faster and faster to match my speed. Just what was this thing? How could anyone or anything run this fast? This entity seemed to have endless stamina. Just how long could it keep this up? Just how much faster could it go? Soon my car would hit its top speed, and then what? How long could I maintain that before breaking down? It wouldn't be long until my engine overheats, but regardless, I would eventually run out of gas. And when I do, what would happen if that thing got to me? At 120 miles per hour, my car had reached its limit. This was the fastest I could go, but that creature continued its pursuit. My temperature gauge was approaching the red, and so was my tachometer. I couldn't keep this up any longer. Suddenly, like a beacon of a lighthouse on the sea, the first light of shiprock came into view. It was close, so close. If I could just go a little longer, I could make it into town, to safety. I pressed on. I fixed my eyes on the lights, growing brighter on the horizon. They bloomed outwards, glimmering in the night air. Though it was a small town, it was a sight for sore eyes in my situation. Looking at my periphery, I saw the undulation of the creature's spine as it kept pace with my car. But now, it was slipping away, steering farther and farther from the road. It suddenly hit me just how hard my heart was beating. Beads of sweat dripped down my face. I looked over. The creature was gone. But this time, the feeling of dread had also gone with it. My stereo once again turned back on, and as my music resumed, I breathed a deep sigh of relief. I let off the accelerator. The man, the creature, whatever it was finally gone for good. Having white-knuckled the steering wheel the whole time without realizing it, my hands were extremely sore, but I was glad to have made it through. A week later, I told another soldier in my unit about what I had experienced. Being originally from Albuquerque, she was familiar with the Native American legends of the Southwest. The conversation steered toward a certain creature that she would not dare speak the name of. She also told me that the highway I took was well known for all sorts of paranormal phenomena. Google what Route 491 used to be called, and everything will make sense. Be careful out there. Okay, so I Googled what Route 491 used to be, and that used to be formerly known as Route 666. So that's terrifying. That is apparently a true scary story, and I don't know what I would have done in that situation. That is absolutely terrifying. I've never had anything like that happen to me personally. I've never really experienced like much paranormal in my life. I don't know if I fully want to say that I believe in everything that I read on the internet, because there's a lot of crazy things out there, but I definitely do believe in paranormal things. But that would terrify me. That would literally be so traumatizing. I don't know what I would do. Oh my God. So I'm gonna read one more story just because it's really, really warm in here. We're already at 14 minutes, so that was a fairly long story. But I'm gonna go into my messages and find another one to read, and oh my God, I am terrified. That was horrible. There's so many bugs outside. Oh my God. Okay, so the next story I wanna read is, I saw what they said was his dead wife. I think it was something worse. For a bit of backstory, my family has always been sensitive to the paranormal and otherworldly. I have many other stories that my mother told me happened when I was a baby, but that's for another time. Halfway through my freshman year in high school, I moved in with my nana in California because of my mental health. I've always had trouble adjusting to sleeping in new places, especially the first month or so. So I often found myself sleeping on the couch in the living room instead of in my room. One night, I was in a video call with my now ex-girlfriend, about to fall asleep in a call, as we often did. I'd been watching some paranormal videos for hours before, and I was a bit freaked out, which is why I was in the call with her in the first place. My girlfriend, we'll call her Bree for simplicity's sake, was talking to me about something. I can't remember what, because I was distracted, when I heard my hamster's cage, which was in my room, start to move. It was the sound the cage door made when it was being opened. It was a very distinct sound that I easily recognized. The hamster was tiny, a dwarf breed, so there was no way she'd be able to open the door, as it was also one of the doors that you need to pinch the latch on both sides to open. When I heard the cage door jiggle, I went completely silent to listen. And I'm pretty sure Bree heard it too, because she asked me if I was getting Ginger, the hamster. I told her no, and that I was in the living room again. I was freaking out, saying that I really needed to go check on Ginger, but I couldn't because I was too scared. Then for some reason, my eyes landed on the dark hallway that led directly into the dining room. I knew that there was a vacuum cleaner by a chair, which had a towel over the back of it. But my brain did that thing all brains do and tried to make it look like a person. Already freaked out, I turned off my video in the call and opened up my normal camera. I snapped a picture of the dining room without the flash on and sent the photo to Bree. I zoomed in on the photo, hoping that the bad Android quality would be blurry enough for my dumb brain to brush it off as what I thought it was. Just a towel over the side of a chair and a vacuum cleaner. When I zoomed in, I saw the exact figure of a lady in a white dress. Nothing over there was white. And to make it worse, there was a hutch full of antique dolls in the dining room, which on its own is creepy. And there was no way that a towel, chair, and a vacuum could make that shape. It was too tall to be any of those objects. The dress looked like a nightgown, and I couldn't see her face, but I got this overwhelmingly bad feeling from looking at the photo. Bree told me she saw it too, and I snapped another picture after she told me to. In that photo, the figure was completely gone. I compared it to the picture from before, and everything looked the exact same, except for the absence of the figure. So after that, I freaked out once more and bolted to my room. Obviously checking on my hamster when I did, she was fine, but I could tell her cage had moved slightly. The next morning, I told my nana about it and called the figure a demon. Her response was, "Oh, that's Robin." My nana's then boyfriend, now husband, had a wife that had passed away. The wife's name was Robin, which wouldn't be a big deal if my nana's name wasn't also Robin. But that's not the focus of the story. I'm pretty sure what I saw wasn't Robin, but Bree's confirmation that there was something in that photo scared me into never sleeping on that couch again. And that's the end of the story. So that was a really good story. So thank you so much to the Godly Hemlock for letting me read your story. And the other one, I didn't say who it was. I'll have them all linked down below so you guys can go check them out yourselves. So if you want to go check out the author's stories on Reddit, you guys can go check them out. I have them listed down below in the description box. But this is all the stories I'm going to read for tonight because I am way too warm. It is so fucking warm in the studio right now. I am sweating. My butt is so hot right now. My hands are super clammy, if you can even see that. Like, they're gross. I don't even think I could snap my fingers right now. Oh, I kind of can, but it's really gross. If you're interested in the makeup look that I did tonight, I did it on TikTok while lip singing to another scary story. So if you guys want to go hear that scary story and watch me do this makeup look, then go to my TikTok. My TikTok is really, really fun lately. I've been doing basically all of my makeup looks over on TikTok because that's basically the only platform that actually means anything now, because Instagram sucks. I still use Instagram for taking photos and like posting my photos, but the engagement over there, if you're not doing videos, is like so. If you want to watch me do my makeup tutorials while also listening to more scary stories, go over to my TikTok. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below for more content like this, and I will see you guys at the next video. Bye!